Hi, Zach. Let me start by saying that, again, I'm very impressed with your lesson plans, the depth that you go to with them and how much information you put into them. I know that you are working really hard and they look fantastic, really fantastic. So, I love your unit title, Team Love and stuff. I like the fact that you went, dug down into your objectives all the way to the evidence outcome. So, as I'm looking through your lesson plan, I'm looking to see you scaffold kids into writing arguments to support claims and explaining and imitating emotional and logical appeals. I like your essential question, and I like that you actually addressed your essential question in your lesson plan. Your students will be able to is nice and clear that they'll be able to organize thoughts into an argument and write an emotional appeal in order to convince their audience of an idea. Very clear cut, very student-centered language. Okay. Your assessments, I like that you've got multiple assessments in there to check how the kids are doing throughout. Love the fact that you script out your lesson plans and you anticipate response, and also that you have a student with my name that has ADD, and that cracked me up. So your hook, right, putting the kids into a good memory loop. Love using the Macklemore piece, some current content for them. Thanks for embedding that link in there. You jump into, there might be a little bit of a jump right here when you say what exactly is Macklemore talking about this, in this, and then I want you to identify how he uses language. Look at all these questions you throw in there at once. What words or phrases does he use to convey meaning? Who is his audience? What types of evidence does he use? And then some of your, answers that you have in bold right here. Because it's song lyrics, more poetry based, that's going to require a pretty high level of interpretation for a kid to understand that this phrase right here, you have to read it, understand it, translate it, and apply it to words and phrases and types of claims. So that might be a bit of a leap. And I wonder if starting with something, text that's a little simpler might help out the kids. Just a thought, though. So then getting the, moving the kids here, I like that you transition them with some nice efficacy pieces. I like that you walk them through examples of some basic pieces of literary analysis, repetition. In example 1, he talks about how he can find good things in everything. Moving on down, I like the fact that you went into some specific definitions to help the kids be able to apply those. I did worry that the piece that you chose, after this. I love the callback model. That was really nice. I'm a big fan of that. The Jason and Medea piece, again, a really complex text. Kids might get so hung up on the content that they can't get through to the ethos, pathos, logos part. I saw a student teacher teach ethos, pathos, logos to 9th graders using Julius Caesar, right, which is the standard Mark Antony speech, right? The kids were so hung up on the language that even though for us as college students we find that one to be, canonical and quintessential, it was just a little much for the high school kids. They just weren't ready for it, and all parties got frustrated, teacher and students alike. So just some thoughts for you there. But don't get me wrong, because the structure of this lesson plan is fantastic. I love it. Bringing them back together, encouraging them with some good examples, going back over some guided practice with the ethos, pathos, and logos, really nice. At this point, I'm worried because, I'm lots of pages into this lesson plan, and as I'm thinking about the objective, that they're able to write claims that use evidence in which they imitate one of these appeals, right? That was your objective. So far, all I've been doing is identifying those appeals in other people's work. So it may be, right, because we can before we can use something, we have to define it, we have to identify it. That may be like this next step you're going to now write it, like in your next lesson plan. And if that's the case, fantastic. But, as I get towards the end here, I love the fact that you gave him some choice. So, okay, now here's your independent practice. See if you can find it here, the appeals here. See if you can find the appeals here. See if you can find the appeals there. But at the end of the day, are the kids actually going to practice writing their own arguments using these appeals? You have them, as your exit ticket, I want you all to write how appealing to either the emotions, logics, or credibility of your audience is important when it comes to speech writing, but they're not actually practicing the writing. So if that was going to be lesson plan 2, we're good to go. This is just, some base level scaffolding. But something to really think about. I think it's hard for us to transition, especially because in 308 we did so much reading instruction. I think it's hard for us to transition from reading instruction to writing instruction. So just kind of be vigilant about that. Otherwise, Zach, this is great. I really enjoy reading your lesson plans. Have a good night.